Hello everyone, Julia here, hello from Sweden and welcome to a new video. And this video is a second part of one of the previous videos about all my finished journals of the first half of 2023. This is the promised video where I want to show you all the journals that I'm using now. And this pile is huge. I counted all these journals and I have here 22 different journals, and it sounds a bit crazy, like why do I need so many journals and how do I manage all these journals at once. So if you would like to know how I use these journals, why do I need so many and how do I manage so many journals, this is the video where I will explain everything about these journals that I'm currently using. And as you will see in the end, there are actually not that many journals that I'm using all the time on daily or weekly basis. Most of these journals are kind of like my long-term projects, as I call them, and I don't even plan to finish them anytime soon, but I also will show those journals in this video. And this is mainly this pile, so I think I will show this in the end. And now I just will move it a bit aside. And first I will show you the journals that I'm actually using all the time, like on daily or weekly basis. These are my main journals, and it's these 5 journals at the moment, and all other journals are like additional journals. So the main journal that I'm using on daily basis is this one. This is my work planner, content planner, and like just everything kind of planner. I switched to this planner in March because the previous one didn't really work for me, so I started to use this one. This is Hobonichi Tetra planner, and I'm using this basically for planning pretty much everything. Mostly it's for work purposes, but I also write down here some personal things. And as I already mentioned in the previous video, I decided that I don't really need a personal planner anymore, at least not now, not at this point. So basically all my planning is here in this one little journal, and I find it very convenient, so I will continue to use this as my main planner basically for everything, for work and also for personal plans. Then I have this one. I was using this one as my personal planner, and I have here 2 inserts, one monthly insert from Traveler's Company, and this one I'm still using as kind of my personal planner with monthly overview. I have here some dates that I don't want to forget, and mostly it's personal plans, like some concerts or trips or birthdays or meetings with someone or things like that, and I will continue to use it for that purpose. And now it's kind of enough for me to have this monthly overview of my personal plans. And the second insert, this is a new one that I just started in July. This is like a weekly recap journal, so basically I just write down here different things about the day, some small things that I was doing that I enjoyed, like something similar like in my daily journal but more general and in shorter form. So this is like a memory keeping weekly journal, and I'm using this weekly. Sometimes I sit down in the evening and add something here, sometimes in the end of the week, to use this like for memory keeping on weekly basis, because I kind of got tired a bit from my daily journal. So I will show you my daily journal and then we'll tell you a bit more about it and why I decided to switch. Then this one is another weekly journal. This one is also a dated weekly insert from Traveler's Company. This one is also like a weekly recap, but more related, I just decided to write down all the things that I did during the week related to my work, and also what worked and what didn't work, what I think was good, what was not really good, and maybe some notes related to work, to making some new journals or stickers or whatever. So everything related to my Etsy shop, Instagram, Patreon, and like, yeah, basically all the things here. So I decided to separate it and just kind of track my progress and some things that worked out and some things that not. And I think I hope it will help me to figure out what I would like to change and what I would like to do next, and on which things I should concentrate more. So for like as a daily journal, now I'm using this two. One is personal, one is work related. And also for a really long time I've been using this one as my daily journal. I have this nice organizer with different things that I set up for my daily journal. I have a video about this setup, so I will leave a link to it in the description box. And this is my daily journal that I use now. I started this one in June and I plan to finish this one. It's now I'm like about halfway through it. So I plan to finish this daily journal, but then I think I just will keep only those two weekly journals and will make a break with this kind of daily journal at least for a while. And then maybe a bit later we'll return to it, but I plan to finish this one, so probably it will be enough until end of the summer, and in autumn I'm going to use only those two that I just showed. And another journal that I use regularly, that's my book journal, and I just finished a book journal and I haven't started a new one yet. I have here already a few things that I prepared and that I want to make because I already read a few books in July. I haven't started a new insert yet, but I already prepared it, so I still want to decorate the cover and also decorate it inside. But yeah, this is my new book journal. And I also have here this media journal that I started in the beginning of the year, and this is the journal that didn't really work for me. I was tracking here all the things that I watched, like movies or TV series, also some YouTube channels maybe, and also if I went to the cinema, for example, I added a ticket here and stuff like that. And I really liked to use this journal until maybe like end of March, beginning of April, and then I just hardly watched anything during the time. I think in April, May and June I didn't watch almost anything, any new movies or series, so I kind of stopped. And yeah, I still plan to finish this journal, and I think it will be enough until end of the year probably, because I don't do it on weekly basis anymore. I actually was really doing this kind of journaling weekly in the beginning of the year, but I just didn't watch so many things now. In winter I had that period of time when I was watching a lot of new movies and series. But in spring I just didn't have the time for that anymore, so I just kind of stopped watching pretty much anything, and I didn't have anything to journal about. So yeah, I think it should be enough until end of the year, and I want to finish it, but I'm not going to start a new media journal when this one is finished, because as it turned out it's not really my thing. And if I want to write down something about the new movie or series that I watched, I rather will do it in one of my weekly journals or in my daily journal. Yeah, so these were the journals, 5 journals that I use regularly, and now I will move on to another category. These are the journals that I use often, but not all the time, definitely. So all these are kind of additional journals for different things. And first, these two are my travel journals. I have one passport size insert for short trips, like one-day trips, and also this regular size insert for longer trips. Sometimes I switch the covers and use other covers from Traveler's Company, but at the moment I have these two train covers. So these are my two travel journals that I use quite often. And this one, Traveler's Diner, this is like an addition to travel journal. It's a cafes journal. So I started this in the beginning of the year, and here I basically collect different cafes that I really liked in my town and also when I'm traveling, but only in Sweden, because these are probably the cafes that I will go again. So these are kind of in my town and in the area around, some favorite cafes and cafes that I really liked. So I think I can say that this journal is like an addition to my travel journals. It's also a bit about traveling. And this too as well, also in a way an addition to my travel journal, because these are my music journals. I started this one in 2022. I have here everything concert related. If I went to a concert or festival, I printed out some photos that I took and also tickets if I have any, and just decorated it a bit. So these are basically the concert memories, and also everything music related, like new albums of favorite bands that just came out, something about festivals and stuff like that. So everything music related. I go to the concerts and festivals quite often, and that's a very important part of my life. So I have this little journal with music related things, and I didn't finish it in 2022, so I'm still using it and also documenting here all the music related things of this year, but it's almost finished. I think I have only a few pages left, so soon I will finish this insert. And this one is very similar, but this one is 2023 only, so all the concerts and festivals and all kinds of music events of this year. And here I collect the tickets and stuff like that, and like different paper, ephemera, and also print photos, more photos. It's kind of the same as in this one, but just in bigger size, like more photos, more stuff, and sometimes also some journaling, like some short notes about those things. I actually have no idea why I decided to have two. I thought that I will finish this one in 2022, and I prepared this one and kind of started this one, but then I remembered that I still have this little journal that I didn't finish that insert, so I just didn't want to leave it unfinished, so I kind of use both. And in this one I also have more different things related to music. I also journal here about some new albums, about favorite bands, and here it's only concerts and festivals that I've been to. But when I finish this one, I will keep only this. Then these three are my journals for, or even four journals for different collages. I have this mini journal where I make mini collages, and I use this from time to time. Sometimes I can sit down and make, like, I don't know, 4 collages in this journal. Sometimes I don't use it for a few months, but I still really like this mini format. This is also a journal with collages, a bit bigger size, passport size. And here I have mainly nature collages with stickers from my Etsy shop. That's where I test them when I make new stickers for my shop, then I usually make some collages in this little journal, kind of to try out those stickers. And yeah, I think now it's about half. Yeah, about half. And I like passport size for collages, and especially this craft paper inserts. And this one I also have from 2022. It's kind of like a junk journal, but just a bit smaller format than that big one that I showed in the previous video that I just finished. Now I'm using this one, the small one, and I want to finish this first before I make any other new junk journal, but this one is also mainly with collages. And another journal with collages, and the biggest of them, this is a 5 journal, and here I have 2 inserts. One is with nature collages, nature, animals, forest, like everything nature. I really like to make this kind of collages. And another insert is more like with people, mostly with different girls, with stickers or postcards or washi tapes with girls, and it's also mostly nature related. These collages are also very much nature themed, nature inspired, but these are with people, and that other one is only, and this one is only animals and birds and stuff like that. So here I have 2 inserts with collages, and will continue to use it. Really like this journal. And the last pile that I have here, these are my long-term projects, and by saying long-term I really mean long-term. I don't have any specific plans, like when I want to finish these journals, and I use them quite seldom, I would say. I think this year, some of these journals this year I used only once maybe, so yeah, when I say long term, I mean really long term, like years. So I already was showing these journals in my previous video about setup for 2023, and they are still the same. So this is my Tolkien journal dedicated to my favorite author and my favorite fantasy universe, Middle Earth, and I make sometimes some new pages in this journal, but not very often. I think this year maybe 3 times I was using this journal also. Then I also have Alice in Wonderland journal. That's one of my favorite books since childhood, and I also have this journal already for a few years, and I'm using it from time to time when I'm in the mood, and sometimes make something new in it, but not very often. I think this year I made some new pages in it, maybe 2 times, and I don't plan to finish it anytime soon. I really like to have these journals. They are really special, but I don't have any specific plan like that I have to finish them this year or next year or so. I'm just using them when I'm in the mood for them. Same as this one. This is the newest one that I made, and this one is dedicated to Stormlight Archive, also one of my favorite fantasy series. I collect here different art that I bought from other artists related to this series, quotes from this series, and just different things like that. Make collages and stuff like that, and I want to add more stuff to this journal definitely, but I just started with it, and yeah, it's also one of the journals that I will be using for many years. I hope to finish this journal sometime, but not anytime soon. Then these 3 traveler's notebooks are also kind of journals without without expiring date. And this one too, this one was made by my friend Natasha from Lithuania, and I got this journal last year in the advent calendar from her, and I'm also using it sometimes, and I made already a few pages in it with collages. And this journal is made in vintage style with some nice vintage papers inside and this kind of vintagey style. So I'm trying to keep this style and make collages in a similar style. So I think it's kind of like a vintage travel journal, I would say. Most of the collages that I made so far, I think are kind of travel themed, so but in this really vintage style. So I want to continue with it and also maybe collect some quotes here, some travel quotes or something like that. But I also don't have any specific plans when I want to finish it. I will be using it for quite a few years, I think, and I really like the format of this journal, and sometimes on the weekend I really like to spend time with this little journal. And then this one is with fantasy collages. I started this one last year, and I just make here different collages related to my favorite fantasy books and sometimes also TV series or movies, but mainly books. And when I started this journal, I still didn't have this Tolkien journal and also that Stormlight Archive journal separately, so I just was making fantasy collages in this one journal. And then I decided that I want to have separate journals for at least for some of my favorite books, but all the rest ends up in this journal. If I liked something very much, like some new movie that I watched or new TV series, like for example, I made this when the latest season of Stranger Things came out. So yeah, all these things end up here, everything fantasy related, and I think I will finish this insert this year, and I don't think that I will start another one because I already have a few different fantasy journals, so I think it should be enough. This is my new black and white journal. Last year I finished one and decided to start another one this year, but I don't plan to finish it anytime soon, not this year, definitely, maybe next year. I think with the previous journal it took me maybe like 1.5 or 2 years to finish it. And this is the journal where I make black and white collages, and I just started it in April, but somehow since April I wasn't really in the mood for making anything new in it. I know that sometime I will return to this journal, but yeah, I don't set any pressure and don't have a specific plans that I have to finish this journal this year or so. And the last one that I'm going to show you is also the journal that I started last year, and also was showing this journal in some of the videos. And this is Countries journal, where I make collages dedicated to different countries of the world. Basically put together some things that are related to those countries, or like how I imagine those countries, and also use original ephemera from those countries if I have some. This is, for example, Sweden collage. That's what I think about when I think about Sweden. So nature, moose, some beautiful nature places, and I used here some Swedish ephemera. This is Germany, for example. Yeah, so I'm slowly working in this journal. I didn't make any new collages in it already for a while. I think last time I used this journal in the very beginning of this year, and since then not anymore, but I plan to continue it. It just will take some time, I think a couple of years for sure, because I plan to go through all the countries and make a make one collage dedicated to every country in the world, so I think it will take me quite a few years. So as you can see, most of those journals are kind of like long-term projects, and I use many of them very seldom. I like to have separate journals dedicated to things that I like for example this Tolkien journal or Alice in Wonderland, because these are really special things for me, and I like to have a journal dedicated to something that I really love. And I think when these journals are finished, it will be really fun to flip through them and like have a huge collection of different things related to my favorite books or my favorite fantasy universe. I think it will be really cool, but also I don't set any pressure and like any time frame when to finish these journals. I'm using them only when I'm in the mood for that, and this year it's kind of very seldom. Most of these journals I used maybe once or twice, maybe some a bit more, but yeah, not too often. So I hope this video explains my huge journaling pile and how I manage them. So actually I'm using on regular basis only 5 journals, plus travel journals when I'm traveling, and all the rest is like just some kind of additional stuff which I don't use very often. So the pile looks really big, but it's manageable because I don't use them very often. Yeah, so I hope this video was interesting for you and you find out something new about my journals and maybe got an idea for a new journal for yourself. So this is basically all these journals. This is part of my setup for 2023, but the main setup are the journals that I showed in the beginning of the video. 5 journals, but I also included all the rest that I have now unfinished, because sometimes I use these journals this year and probably still will use them at least 1 or 2 times during this year, so I also decided to include them in this video. And the previous video about journals that I already finished this year, you can find in the link to the video, you can find in the description box, in case if you want to see all the journals that I already finished this year and if you missed that video. And as always, thank you so much for watching and see you in my next videos. Bye!